Arsenal beat Man United in the last minute last month, we wondered whether they'd do anything but win for all the rest of the season. But a draw at Borough reminded us they are mortal after all. As for Wigan, they do know how to put a run together. 4 straight wins in the autumn, followed by 8 straight defeats in the deep midwinter.
Word that Wigan's dismal run had come to an end was greeted with jubilation by Latics fans all over the world. There were similar scenes in store if they were to get anything at Arsenal, who, while hardly invincible, do now have Thierry Henry fighting fit and finding the net. Your commentator, Simon Brotherton.
Not only is Thierry Henry in fine goal-scoring form, but he rather enjoys playing against Wigan, having put 6 past them last season, including a hat-trick in the final match at Highbury last May. 3 changes for Arsenal. Julio Baptista returns after a groin injury. Theo Walcott comes in on the right-hand side of midfield, and Johan Djourou replaces the suspended Philippe Senderos in central defence. Emmanuel Adebayor is rested on the bench. Wigan welcome back both Emile Heskey and Leighton Baines from injury, and Fitz Hall comes back into the defence. Recent signing Caleb Folan is out with an ankle injury. Gilberto Silva just caught out a little bit there. Heskey. This is Julius Agahawa, the recent signing from Shakhtar Donetsk. McCulloch. Away by Djourou. Arsenal still haven't completely cleared their lines. Advantage played by the referee. McCulloch. Oh, that came off point. Heskey. Early threat from Paul Jewell's side. Oh, and Agahawa gives it away. Twinkle-toed and fleet-footed Theo Walcott. Combining with Henry. This looks dangerous, but the final ball didn't match the build-up. Second chance, and a foul by Baptista. It was rather lucky for Wigan. Here's Heskey. Agahawa waiting by the penalty spot. Heskey looking forceful here. Arsenal composed at the back, and now it's Baptista. Rides the challenge of Lanza. Jackson's backpedaling. Baptista still goes. Henry. Clichy provides support on the outside. It's Rosicky through the centre. Oh, it was lovely play. Inch-perfect passing. Nearly leading to the opening goal of the game. Lovely ball from Baptista. Walcott. Henry doesn't often put it that high from there. Another lovely flowing move from Arsenal. Another excellent ball through the channels. Walcott finding Henry, and you'd have bet your house that he would have scored from there. What a chance. And a very uncharacteristic miss. Good running by Rosicky. As support, 3 Arsenal players on the edge of the penalty area. Looking for Henry. Oh, and Boyce really sliced the ball into the back of his own net. Well, that was a close escape for Wigan Athletic. Just look at this. Boyce very nearly scored a goal that he wouldn't have wanted to reflect on. Rosicky. Jackson. Looks for Julius Agahawa, who's got pace to burn. He's really testing Djourou here. Good strength from the wiry Agahawa as well. Looks for Skoko. Now it's Lanza. He can strike them. Oh, he can really strike them. What an unlikely lead. And what a blockbuster of a goal. Agahawa using pace and strength to hold off Djourou. It looked as though the chance had gone, but it fell to Lanza, and it was a pile driver. The sort of shot from the Dutchman that almost lifted the goal out of the ground. And Arsenal are behind to Wigan Athletic. Just 5 minutes to go to half-time. Oh, Wigan could be in here again. Oh, it was a chance there for Julius Agahauer. And the home crowd are sitting uneasily in their seats here at the Emirates Stadium, and Agahauer was very nearly in there. Last few seconds of the opening 45 minutes. Still no sign of how much added time we'll get. Advantage played, it's Lanzat. Arsenal could be under pressure here once again. Heskey, great chance for 2-0! Oh, and Arsenal were lucky there. Heskey had a fantastic chance. And Arsenal really need to sort themselves out here. 3 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. We're into those 3 minutes now. And here come Arsenal. Baptista. Desperate defending by Wigan. It's Clichy. Henry! That's twice he's put good chances wide. But Heskey had a fantastic chance to make it 2-0. And Lehmann just got his fingertips to the ball to divert it onto the post. Not the first time Arsenal have fallen behind in their new stadium, though, not by a long stretch. So here comes Emil Heskey! Wigan threaten once again. And it was Heskey who had the opportunity. Arsenal on the attack now with Fabregas. Henry motors into the penalty area. Matt Jackson holds him up. Oh, it's away by Hall. Walcott. That was a waste. He needed to get it at least on target from there. And Walcott still looks for his first goal for Arsenal. The booing, by the way, is for Chris Kirkland, who is taking a leisurely approach to goal kicks and free kicks. Heskey uses his body strength extremely well against Kolo Touré. Only half cleared. Skoko! Wigan are posing enough threat to keep Arsenal on their toes here as they pursue an equaliser. As Arsenal chase the game, Wigan could catch them on the break. It's not quite going Arsenal's way here. 18.5 minutes to go, and they will be a very long 18.5 minutes for some. Adebayor, flag up far side, won't count. Adebayor thought he'd scored, but the flag went up long before the ball hit the net. Here we are again as the ball is played forward. And that is a very close decision, and I think Adebayor might be slightly unfortunate. There was certainly no case of playing the advantage to the attacking player. Skoko away, and now the opportunity for Wigan to just get the ball away from their penalty area. Taylor. Lanzat, now Agahauer. Heskey's really testing Flamini here, and down goes Heskey. Feels he should have a penalty. Phil Dowd says no, but that really would be worth looking at again. Meanwhile, Wigan have a player down here. Heskey racing into the penalty area. Flamini tussling with the former England striker. It was messy, but I think that Heskey rather made a meal of the challenge by Flamini. It certainly wasn't a forceful challenge by the Frenchman. Josip Skoko has been receiving treatment out on the field and looks as though he's going to be okay. Aliadier, Adebayor, Fabregas, real pressure. Adebayor, lovely pass, Flamini, oh, and it's in! And it's an own goal, and it's cruel on Wigan, but the goal had been coming. Henry unnecessarily getting involved with Chris Kirkland rather spoils the moment. It was a lovely pass, though, to set up the goal. Fabregas into Adebayor. Wigan at full stretch. Flamini into the centre, and Hall sliding in. Can only divert it into the back of the net. Here it is again. Oh, it was a desperate lunge, and Henry was right behind him. And as the ball's played forward, was Flamini offside? And Henry has been booked, presumably it has to be, for ungentlemanly conduct. Here comes Henry, it's a chance! And it's wide. Arsenal pushing so hard for what is highly likely to be a winning goal if they can find it. Keenly fought game with plenty of talking points here. It's Cesc Fabregas now for Arsenal. And what a final few minutes we've got. Great positioning and running by Rosicky. Adebayor. Oh, it's a terrific pass. Baptista! Rosicky makes it 2-1. Arsenal turn the game around. Wigan led for so long, but it looks as though they're going home empty-handed. Wild celebrations from the Arsenal players, but boy, have they had to work hard to get ahead of Wigan here. Adebayor, defence-splitting pass. Look at Rosicky right in the centre. Baptista, turns provider. And Rosicky onside. Scores what could be the decisive goal here. Relief for Arsenal's manager as much as joy. 3 minutes and 45 seconds between the two goals. Now who's time wasting? Phil Dowd's had enough. Arsenal's goalkeeper gets his name taken. He's feeling a little happier now than he was for most of the afternoon, that's for sure. There goes the final whistle, and Arsenal's unbeaten home record is preserved, but they were pushed all the way by Wigan Athletic, who held on for so long. 2 goals in the final 10 minutes finally undid them. Rosicky getting the winner 6 minutes from time, and Paul Jewell there looks mightily unhappy with the way things have turned out for his team, and I'm sure that we'll be hearing more about that because of the way that he's talking to the referee. Jewell is incensed, but he can be proud of the way his players have played today. The final score at the Emirates Stadium: Arsenal 2, Wigan Athletic 1.
As usually, to be 1-0 down, to come well into the game, and then from then on in the second half it was all us. But on the break they could have maybe got a penalty or not, I don't know, but it was tight, very tight, and we needed something special today to beat them.
Big decision not given a penalty for a challenge on Emil Heskey.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it from what I'm told.
Too strong a word. And I think we were not necessarily Lee, but we were absolutely gutted for them, weren't we? There's nothing worse. Holding out, did so well, could have won it, all of a sudden they lost it.
Well, when they put that much effort into the game and work so hard to get within 10 minutes of it and get nothing from the game, it's absolutely gutting as a player when you see that and you come home and see that on the TV, you could have had a penalty, their first goal maybe offside as well. It makes it even harder to take.
Yeah. So as a skipper, what are you saying to him after a game like that?
Not a lot. It's not a lot you can say. You can't feel sorry for yourselves because it does you no good. You've got to put it behind you. You've got to try and just go out and show everybody in the next game that it hasn't affected you. Yeah. That's the best way to answer it.
Thanks, Graham. That's a very balanced view. For a rather more one-eyed view, let's go to Cyclops here.
I take offence to that. I was totally impartial the whole way through that 90 minutes.
We'll run a camera in our viewing room next time, and then we'll see who's impartial. Anyway, go on. What did you think?
Well, I think Paul Jewell's got to take great credit for the way his team came out and played. And the goal that he scored, take away everything else, the goal was just out of this world. It was a fantastic strike from Lanzat. I think it's Jackson that plays the ball. I don't know where Clichy's going here, the top of your screen. He decides to have a run-up pitch for no reason, but great pace. As he pulls the ball back here, it gets cleared. Lanzat just takes one touch, one thing on his mind, bang. And he won't hit a better one if he plays until he's 47. What do you think about this, Graham?
It's the best view. Don't ask me about goal scoring. I don't do enough of it, to be fair.
I don't know why Lehmann's diving there, because he's got no chance of getting that. And this is when it's 1-0. This is Heskey's chance. Great through ball, through on goal, brilliant save from Lehmann.
But he's away,
and
celebrating,
he's
isn't
off
he?
celebrating. If he stays where he is and follows it in, he taps into an empty net, but I think he thought he was in. And we see from a better angle how good this save was from Lehmann. Narrows the angle, left fingertip, and off Heskey goes, virtually going to put his arms in the air for the goal, and it bounces back. And now this is the penalty. This is at 1-0 as well, with 10 minutes to go. Flamini found himself at centre half, puts his arms on Heskey, pulls him down. Phil Dowd says no. We see here. Now, when I first saw this, I thought, no, it wasn't. And I thought, I mean, look, there's the tug.
Yeah.
Pulls him down. I think Heskey could have stayed on his feet, but there's no reason why he should. If he's been pulled back, then he's entitled to go down.
Yeah. Well, what I'd say, why didn't he stay on his feet? I'd apply the Uma Thurman test. You'd said to him, Emil, you stay on your feet, you can spend the rest of the evening with Uma Thurman. He'd still be on his feet now, and he would have scored. I mean, not with Uma Thurman, but he would have probably scored. He would have put it in the back of the net.
2-0, so that was a real turning point, and Paul Giles quite rightly aggrieved about both those decisions.
Yeah. I mean, the officials, the kindest thing you can say about the decision-making was that it played a full part in what was a fabulously entertaining game.
Well, yeah, I mean, Adebayor's goal that wasn't. I mean, we see here is a great diagonal ball. He's just pulling off the centre forward, and we see he's level. His feet are level. Now, to me, that is onside. It's a great touch. Puts it through the legs of the goalkeeper. It should be a goal, but it wasn't given. Now, this is the goal that was given, and I think we see it's a great move again. Adebayor involved twice, knocks it off to Fabregas, gets it back, turns inside the fullback. Now, if we see. Is he offside? 46 centimetres offside.
That's miles off.
Great ball in, and the defender's got not much chance but put it into an open goal. And I think we see here Thierry having a bit of a ruckus with the goalkeeper. Now, I don't think he should do that. I think he's out of order. I think they've obviously said something. Kirtland's had a go back. Thierry's had a go about the time wasting. This is a winner. This is Rosicky. Now watch his run. He pops it off and he just carries on running. He's not really interested in the ball. He's just trying to get in box. But because he gets a run on the defence, they play a reasonable line. Ball inside the fullback again, and he's ahead of them. They're playing catch-up. And what a fabulous ball by Batista. He can't miss that. Watch it hit him on the head. And you just feel for Wigan. They were hard done by. They worked so hard during that game, and they came out with nothing. And you know, they've been struggling. They had a great result last week against Portsmouth, and this week, you know, they've been outdone by a team at the top. How many times has that happened? The team at the top just scrapes through over the line. Yeah.
So I suppose psychologically for Wigan now, they've got to concentrate on the fact they gave Arsenal a game and should really have won, rather than the fact they've played well and got nothing. What governs how you psychologically respond to something like that?
We try and take the positives out of the game. The positives are they worked extremely hard. They closed down very, very well. They didn't look until right in the last 10 minutes when you're starting to tire as though they're going to concede. And they should have scored 2 goals, at least. I've never seen a team go to the Emirates and have so many chances. So they can take that as well as a positive.
And a couple of weeks ago, we saw Wigan. They were hopeless against Everton.
Yeah.
And it's a different team all round today.
They did play well. They hassled in midfield. They got the passing right. I think the other week we criticised, well, I criticised them for short passes up the top end of the pitch, but from the back they just lumped it forward. But I thought today they got the balance perfectly right, and they were very unlucky.
Let's have a look at Too Good, Too Bad. Normally we show some poor, unfortunate lad picking his nose. Well, slight variation on that theme today. Trouble with this pie. Son, do not breathe in there. Repeat, do not breathe in. Chelsea, their physios are made of strong stuff. Something wrong with your leg, son? Here, I'll bring it over here. Let's have a look at it. It can't have done much good if the leg was bad for him. The steward, the world's bravest man. Excuse me, out the way, mate. You're in the road. I think he's still working for them. Here we have a kind of a philosophical question. When is a throw-in not a throw-in? It's like Albert Camus there or something discussing it. Anyway, I decided to get on with it, nevertheless, after that brief conference. Now, this hug between Henry and Walcott went on pre-match, mind you, for a full 23 seconds. That's a Premiership record. You never saw Dixon Adams doing anything like that. Not on the pitch, anyway. And we argue so much on what's a foul and what isn't a foul. It's quite refreshing when there's just no doubt about it at all. Is there anyone in the world that couldn't spot the infringement here? There you go. Take that. And finally, deliciously, Harry Redknapp going up to the sin bin. Look at the shock on the face of the woman behind. Look at her. She nearly jumps out of her skin. It's like she thought he was dead and he's come back to life, wide-eyed with wonder.
Incredible. I hope she's recovered. Gentlemen.
Home in the 5th round of the FA Cup after beating Bolton in a dramatic 4th round replay. Arsenal missed 2 penalties as extra time goals from Freddie Ljungberg and Emmanuel Adebayor sent Arsenal Wenger's side through. Arsenal opened the scoring after 13 minutes following a neat passing move. Emmanuel Adebayor's shot took a wicked deflection of Stelios on its way past Bolton keeper Jussi Jääskeläinen. Well, Ivan Campo's dangerous throw caused problems in the Arsenal penalty area, but Stelios was denied an equaliser by the post. Now, Arsenal were awarded a second-half penalty after Julio Baptista was fouled by Tal Benaim. The defender picked up a booking for the foul. Gilberto's effort was completely off target. A Gael Clichy clearance released Adebayor, who squandered a great chance to put the result beyond doubt for Arsenal. The Togo international did everything right, except put the ball in. Well, Bolton forced a dramatic equaliser deep in injury time to send the tie into extra time. Campo knocking the ball down, but Mete to score. 2 Arsenal substitutes combined to put Arsenal 2-1 up. Jeremy Aliadier played in Ljungberg to score. Then Benaim was sent off for Bolton in the second half of extra time after denying Baptista a second goal-scoring opportunity. Arsenal were then awarded a second penalty when Adebayor was brought down by Nicolas Anelka. Baptista stepped up this time. Could he do any better than Gilberto? No. And Adebayor completed the win in the closing stages as Arsenal sealed their place in the 5th round.
We were very, very happy, of course, and I think people who saw the game as well thought it was quite interesting, even if, of course, it's not fun to miss 2 penalties, but that's the way it is.
Was it one of those nights where you thought maybe you're playing so well and you weren't scoring the goals that fate was against you?
Yeah, maybe it felt like that a little bit. I mean, any team can go down after, we're leading the whole game and concede an extra time. That's quite a big blow, but I think we responded well, and the second one of the extra time, I think we played very well and controlled the game.
Just imagine if your team could take penalties, eh?
We're saving them for more, I don't know, for the semi or the final or something.
That Derbyshire. Ooh, that's speculative. And that is the best effort we've had in the game so far. Aliadier. Oh, risky challenge. Cross looking for Henry. The game's opened up a little bit. Should Arsenal have had a penalty? That should have been a penalty for the challenge by Warner. Fabregas. It's come to Rosiecki. Good block by Friedel. Henry. Mokoen had the stretch. Adebayor. Real opportunity for Arsenal. Henry lifts it. Save. And a brilliant recovery to thwart Hoyt. Henry and Arsenal goalless. It's finished 0-0 at the Emirates.
Wenger as he landed in Eindhoven. It's Arsenal's 3rd visit here in recent years, and they remain unbeaten against the Dutch side. The frustrations of Saturday's FA Cup stalemate against Blackburn have now been forgotten, but Wenger admits the next couple of weeks could make or break Arsenal's season.
It's fair to say that. And remember, we had the same question last year when you played at Real Madrid, and it made our season, so it's just down to our performances. I feel that the team, since December, has taken off, is going, doing very well. The understanding within the squad is very good, the spirit is very high, and we are ready for a big challenge. Of course, like the last 16 in the Champions League.
The return of William Gallas has been a big plus, and Johan Giroud is also added to the squad because of injury problems in the right-back position.
Eboué is not back, and Justin Hoyt is out for tomorrow's game for small injury. Theo Walcott has a slight problem at his shoulder, that's why I keep him at home as well. And apart from that, everybody was available.
Arsenal's schedule's been hectic in recent weeks, but defender Philippe Senderos says that's a necessary price to pay for being successful.
Every game, closer you get to the end of the season, it's going to be more important. So a last 16 of the Champions League is a massive game, and we want to go through. So we're going to give everything tomorrow evening to go through.
A wrong turning by Wenger as he left the news conference.
Boss.
But on current form, he insists there's no chance of Arsenal losing their way against PSV. Nick Collins, Sky Sports, Eindhoven.
They'll be fairly disappointed with that. But they'll have a chance to turn it around at the Emirates, won't they, Stan?
PSV, yeah. And when it comes to the shot by Mendes, like from 30 yards, I think that was right in the corner, and the goalkeeper's got no chance from that. So when Thierry Henry afterwards said, well, it was a brilliant goal, and sometimes they go against you, I think he was spot on with that.
Yeah.
What was your question, by the way, Sarah Jane?
Sorry, no, just about Joe Cole coming back in the Carling Cup final this weekend. Do you think that'll have any bearing?
I'm going for Arsenal no matter what Chelsea team is. I think Arsenal will win.
In that whole squad rotation thing, the two different sides he's playing, is there now a situation where a lot of people are thinking the supposed second string Arsenal team is a better team at this precise moment in time?
No, it's not, in my opinion.
They've had a lot of games together in this competition. I think it's kind of, again, it shows that the modern game whereby, you know, realistically, Arsenal won't put supposedly what their strongest team on paper is out, some of the big guns. But I think that the team that's played in that competition, that has done well, should be given the opportunity to play. It's as simple as that. And that should carry over into the league as well, ironically.
Is he right to leave Henry out, in your opinion, Rodney? Obviously, he wants to rest him because they've got so many games.
Well, I tell you what, and I think Stan will probably agree with me on this, if you're the player that comes in for Thierry Henry in those games, and they're away from home and you're up against it, and you come in and you do well, and you're out again, you come in for the next game, and then you're out again. If you don't get the final game, and that you're suddenly on the bench, how do you feel as that player?
Yeah. You know? And it's happened, I think, the inception, when it kind of like, you know, the squad rotation and big squads, is that one team, you know, goes out and plays the Carling Cup and latterly the FA Cup games. And then teams started, the bigger clubs like Arsenal and Chelsea started to get to the cup finals. It's like, all of a sudden, the big guns come back, you know, without having
that's
played the games.
And it seems as if Arsenal have managed to keep an awful lot of players happy by doing this. You know, they're enjoying playing in that second-string team. It's good football, and it keeps them a little bit quieter.
Good point, and very similar. Do you remember Manchester United about 7 or 8 years ago when they had Solskjaer on the bench and they had Sheringham on the bench, and Ferguson kept them all happy? It seems that's what Arsenal are doing now.
Because you hear about rumblings in the Chelsea camp, don't you? They don't seem to have got that balance right there, Stan.
I think that was around the Shevchenko thing, which obviously he's starting to come good now. I think that when a player comes in like that and you know, is expected to deliver the goods, I think there's always little stories and stuff starts happening. I think the difference with Chelsea is they've got a lot of big-name international players on very big contracts and a lot of big personalities. Arsenal don't necessarily have that. They've got a good mixture of youth and experience, where the young players, to be honest, they're learning their trade. They haven't got to that kind of level of a Shevchenko yet, so I think that the dynamic is different between Arsenal and Chelsea.
I'm still going to stick with my original statement about Shevchenko. I don't think Shevchenko is a top Premiership player.
No,
I
do agree with that.
I think he's a terrific footballer, but in the Premier League, I don't think he's a Premier League player.
He's always, since he's come, he's looked a yard off what the Premiership's about. Which just shows, you know, you might play abroad and be successful.
But doesn't necessarily work.
For courses, yeah, it doesn't necessarily work here.
Thanks, guys.
Bruised and wounded by their defeat across Manchester. It's a very different team that comes to face City tonight.
Robin Van Persie makes his first start for the Gunners. It's the youngest Arsenal team ever.
These lads not only know the game, they can play it at the highest level. Absolute quality. Lupoli. Kerry Gilbert is the man who made the difference here. Van Persie, yes!
wonderful night, Ali Adir.
Baptista, yes!
Yet again, Julio Baptista owes so much to the lads who create this.
Here's Adebayor! Arsenal have got 1 foot in the Millennium Stadium again. The Arsenal youngsters have emulated some of the feats of the Arsenal seniors.
Yeah, indeed, and the Arsenal boys look smart in their brand new suits provided by Mothercare this week. Paul Merson, now is Arsene Wenger tempted, do you think, to shuffle it around and play the likes of Thierry Henry?
I don't think Thierry Henry will play. I think there'll be a couple of experienced players. When we say they're all kids, you know, he does do well. He mixes it up. You know, Touré plays every single game without foul. You know,
but would he have been tempted in his mind, you know, to think, well, we'll put Ali Adier on the bench and things like that, you know? Leave Theo Walcott out.
I'm a big fan of Henry. You know, for me, he's one of the best players in the world. But to be honest, the last couple of games I've watched him, honestly, he hasn't kicked the ball.
Can't leave him out in a cup final, Merce. You can't not play Thierry Henry.
Yeah, I think...
well, he's going to leave him out. He's not going to leave him out.
I can't believe it. I mean, if we're all saying he's the best player, he might have a couple of games. Cup final against Chelsea, how can you leave your best player out? It's a bit strong
on a couple of the other lads who have took them all the way through. It's not like they've come in for one game and Henry's been injured and then like they've come in and scored the winner in the semi. You can turn around then and say, well, I've got to leave you out here, mate. But he's played every game. All these kids have played every game.
I mean, they left him out of the side that went and scored 6 at Liverpool, for goodness sake.
I know they did. I'm just saying, I just think, I mean, I know Arsene Wenger and the bottom line, Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson, and the reasons where they are is because they've done so brilliant and you know, Mercer's right. He does mix it around and he has that youth, you know, the Nielsen and Adebayor, etc. They are all fantastic. But going into a big game, it's a cup final, it's our first domestic cup final of the year. And you've got Thierry Henry in your squad. For me, I know the boys have done great.
What would that do to the kids, though, if you let them out of this stage?
Well,
destroy them, wouldn't it?
No, I don't think it would. I think that's absolutely nonsense. It wouldn't destroy them. You're putting in one of the best strikers in the world. How are they going to be upset about that? They're still all learning their trade. They've done really well through the rounds. If I'm just saying, if I'm Arsene Wenger, I want to play Thierry Henry. I don't care who's got me to the final.
Okay. The crux of the matter is, the club's there to win trophies, and that's what they should be doing.
Oh, that's
and
my point,
the only problem that will happen is if Arsenal get beat. Because the fans who have all gone there have gone there because they want to win the cup. They're playing Chelsea. Now, if they get beat, and what Arsene does well is he's got all these youngsters and everything, whatever, but he has the cavalry on the bench. He always names the subs as all his top players, so he can bring them on if it needs it. But the problem he's going to have is if they get beat. It'll all come on top, because the fans will all go, hey, this is a cup final. We should be here to win. He should be playing his better team. If he wins it, he will get all the plaudits of how brilliant and how great he is and the decisions that he's made. And he's had great faith and trust in his players. And that is wonderful. But it'll be after the 90 minutes, after the extra time, after the penalties. If it goes well for him, he will be applauded for it. If it goes wrong, he will have to accept he will get the criticism.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Okay,
they played Tottenham, who Arsenal Tottenham hate each other. That is the game, right? He played them then. He played them then. He took that chance. The fans would have gone even more madder than this game.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think they'll go mad if they lose this game. I honestly don't. I think
are they going there to see them play?
Well, they got a chance, haven't they? Got half a chance.
Well, they've got a good chance.
Exactly. So they got a good chance. The best team, their best possible team, come what Tuesday night, bar a buoy, right? That was Arsenal's best team. They never looked like scoring in a month for Sundays.
It doesn't matter. You're there to win trophies. You're there to win
trophies. They're hypocritical. If they go mad Sunday, if they got beat, they are hypocritical because that team's got them there. They've played all them rounds. They've beat Tottenham.
I can understand that.
I'll tell you what, Phil. This week, I mean, Arsene Wenger has said we are the X Factor Academy. He said you have singers on the X Factor whose talents are discovered which nobody knows about. The people who turn up are ready to fight for something, just like our young players. This is what he's saying is that our youngsters will treat this more seriously than some of the senior players who've been there and done it and get a bit bored with the trips to Cardiff.
Jeff, it's exactly what happened. Liverpool did it when they got to the Carling, when they played Chelsea. They played all the youngsters and everything in all the early rounds. He changed it in the semi-final. He changed it in the final, Rafa Benitez. That is the thing. It's wonderful. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I think it'll be great. But I think the Arsenal fans, if they lose it, because he's saying about the Tottenham game, and right, if he'd have got beaten it, he'd have got hammered. He is the best at searching out all these players.
Country's a great vision, isn't it? We know what Arsene Wenger does on his Saturday evenings now. Sits and watches the X Factor.
Absolutely.
Well, you were a big Eton Road fan, weren't you, Tomo?
Go on.
No, well, you were a big Eton Road fan, the Liverpool
Very
boys,
much
weren't
so.
you? Absolutely. You know, I used to like Chico. It's Chico time, and I wonder, is it Theo time this weekend at the Millennium Stadium? Look, he's had his critics, hasn't he? People saying that he's feeling the strain, but people forget that he's only a kid still.
He's a boy. You're right. You know, for me, I mean, he probably moved a little bit too early, in my opinion. I said it at the time, but you know, he made that decision. He has developed as a player. He's gone through a bit of a tough time. The one thing he hasn't had, Jeff, is a goal. The boy needed an early goal, you know, to give himself a bit of self-confidence. He's playing alongside world-class players, and maybe he's feeling a little bit intimidated.
He's a decent finisher, though, isn't he?
He's a very good finisher. He's a very good finisher, but he's been playing out wide. At Southampton, they encouraged him to come more in the middle, and they played him up front as a centre-forward, playing off a front man as well. So he had more chances. But he's a fantastic footballer. The boy's, you know, 17 years old. He's not even 18 yet. Don't give the kid a break.
Carling Cup final.
What are you come to teach me? Will it you on philosophy or the new Wayne Rooney? Will it be poetry that lights your eyes? Mine are shining.
I don't know the team. On his mind, you know, he knows exactly what he will do on Sunday.
In football, no boys. No boys and no old people.
The last Arsenal team to win this trophy back in 1993 was littered with 30-somethings. This season, Wenger has used the competition to give his younger players valuable first-team experience. So far, it's worked spectacularly. But is it the right strategy when there's a trophy at stake?
There's always a risk when you go into a football game. And I always said, you know, I try to adjust to the difficulty of the game. That means to put a side out who will win the game, and who manages as well to give a chance to these players who have worked very hard to get there.
It's quite difficult
to play for the first team, and this is not the second team, is Arsenal. This competition gave us gave them as well the opportunity to show them, to show the boss how good they are, and I think they've showed everybody, all the fans all around in England, that they are good enough to be at Arsenal, and you know, that's the point about the competition as well for the boss.
I believe that they will win the game on Sunday, and then can be considered as anybody else on Monday morning.
What have I done?
It's so difficult to win. You have to.
Points against Chelsea, I want to win, and I'm determined to win for my club, and that's much more important.
It's going to be an interesting clash of footballing cultures. Martin, you were a mentor at Arsenal, weren't you, towards the end of last season? You've seen the young players develop. Are you surprised to see them develop as quickly as they are?
No, not at all, not surprised. It, you know, fairly underlines the strategy of the manager bringing all these young players in. And the belief is such with these players that they actually think that they should be in the team. You know, they don't think they're a second-string side, you know, whatsoever. And the development of the players, okay, they've perhaps gone a little bit quicker than they expected, but so many plus points, a proud day for the club, and really I think it's a free opportunity for the manager to say to the youngsters, look, go and experience a final, and at such a young age is only great for the future.
Who's caught your eye particularly of those younger players?
Well, there's a whole array of players, but Danielson this year is the youngest player, and he's come in and he's been phenomenal. You know, he looks like another Fabregas.
He's a Brazilian lad, isn't he?
He is,
yeah.
and you know, he looks like a winner. He plays a bit deeper than Fabregas, and perhaps you know those two together, you could see a big future for them.
Yeah, they've beaten Liverpool, Everton, Spurs. This is by far their biggest test, I suppose, Les.
Yeah, but not a risk. When you talk about the teams that they have beaten, throwing them into the final, I don't think it's a risk. And it was interesting to see what the goalkeeper said there. He said they don't see themselves as like the B team. They see themselves as Arsenal.
Yeah.
And it's just one big team, and whoever plays can go in there and feel very comfortable and confident that he can do the job.
I think one of the biggest things about playing in the cup final, and these lads will know this, is it's the nerves and it's the tension. Doesn't matter about lack of experience. You're better off with a lack of experience because you don't know what's coming. The ones who've been know what's coming. Yeah. They've got no fear, those Arsenal kids. Yeah. Martin says it's a free opportunity. They can't lose. They literally, if they lose, they can't lose. And the other thing, it brings on their development. It speeds it up even quicker. And Chelsea at the moment will be the team who will have the pressure on them. Yes, They're used to it, but it's a very good Arsenal side.
How do you think Chelsea will be affected by the loss of John Terry? I mean, I suppose they've been without him for a few weeks before.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing now is it's not Terry and Cech. I mean, Cech's come back and he's been absolutely brilliant, and he brings such an assurance. He's a world-class goalkeeper. He makes a big difference. The other thing they're saying as well, that Frank Lampard's 50-50 because he's picked up a virus, so they couldn't afford to do without Terry and Lampard. They can get over Terry just for a couple of games, but I just think from Arsenal's point of view, they'll go out and they'll play and they won't have any fear whatsoever.
I actually think William Gallas will have a point to prove if he does get picked.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't know whether he's going to be fit enough to be picked, but obviously he'll have been working very hard to make sure he's right for this game or not.
What do you think?
I think Mourinho has picked the opportunity as well, hasn't he, this morning to suggest, you know, I'm going to be here for the long term, and he's doing it in preparation for this game, bring them together. And for a little while at Chelsea, it seemed to, you know, we didn't know what was happening, so it settled down, and you know they'll be wanting to win this game, I'm sure.
Okay.
Makelele, Ballack, Arsenal, Denilson, Diaby, Walcott. I mean, you know, there's no comparison, is there?
Well, not when you look at the, I suppose, on paper, but we know that there's never a game won on paper, Jeff, to be quite honest with you. And if that's what he's going to do, Wenger, then, like you said, these guys are going to be up for it, the young Arsenal boys. I mean, going back to the Walcott thing, he brought him on as a substitute against Hamburg and changed the game, completely changed the game, and gave Phil Harbour the left back. Oh, so I mean, the stuff that he's already had, the experience that Arsenal has had, maybe this is the kind of...
First half hour against Wigan, he was the best player.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Maybe this is he's just going to explode. Having said that, Makelele, Ballack and Frank Lampard, now already those three names, without John Terry behind them, need to have another 2-3% from somewhere to compensate for John not being there, to be the leaders on the park, to make sure somebody's doing the right job. And then, of course, you've got Drogba and Shevchenko. Shevchenko's got a goal the other night, which is, as soon as I saw the result when he scored, I was like, just maybe he's had a little time now, and that's a couple of games, 3 or 4 games he hadn't scored in the games, and just maybe he's actually getting his eye back in. I don't know, it'll still be tight. John Terry's a massive blow for them, but I'm sorry, I can't go with this if he goes with the Walcott, and I'm just not having that. I just think Chelsea will be too much.
How do they get a grip on Drogba, Paul? Because in the past, he's caused Arsenal problems. I mean, particularly Sonderos, if Sonderos plays, you know, he's caused a big problem.
Well, I'd have thought he would have played. I think, you know, Wenger does like him. I just think the thing with Sonderos, he's got a ricket in his locker. You know, he can be very good, but you know you're going to get it. I'm just being honest. Every time I watch him, he will give you a chance. He will give you... Don't matter if he's outstanding for 89 minutes. He will give you a chance. And when you're a centre forward, you live on them. You live on them players. You know, Rio Ferdinand was like that 4 or 5 years ago. I don't think he's like that now, but he was like that.
Do you think he'll go with Juru and
I think he'll play Senderos. I think he will. I just think he'll play him. I don't know how they'll cope with him. I think Shevchenko's, you know, Alan said, you know, I think he's on fire again now.
Drogba's always getting it. Drogba likes to feel people, and Senderos always get. If there's one thing about the young lad, he's still learning of how to defend. He gets too close to people. He wants to win every ball. Sometimes that's a danger. And the way Drogba's playing, and he's able to hold that ball up, if he gets the chance, and I've seen him absolutely murder Senderos in games, and he'll be doing that. He will know how he plays, and he will be looking to turn him. Senderos, if he plays, it's a big test for him. I think he'll go Juru and Toure.
Tell you what I think it does is by playing one of the youngsters, it elevates this cup final to a different level. It might have been another Chelsea-Arsenal clash, but it just gives it that bit of extra zest, doesn't it? Because you're going to see these exciting Arsenal games.
Well, if I was Mourinho, I'd be a worried man. If Arsenal go and play their kids and go and beat Chelsea, my God. My God, honestly. You know, you're sitting there with how much, I don't know how much money. It's all right saying the money don't count. We're talking international players, you know, all top players. If these kids go and beat Arsenal, go and beat Chelsea, it'd be phenomenal.
Because of what we've seen, isn't it? Because of what we've seen with these young lads. You do worry. Really, we should be saying Chelsea should be out of sight in this final. They should be out of sight.
They might be.
But from what we've seen against Tottenham, and against all the other teams that they've beaten
not
this
Chelsea.
Season,
that's the thing.
They've done exceptional, and they can beat anybody on the day. So that's what makes it so.
Okay, you can have first prediction then. Arsenal against Chelsea.
Well, as I say, I was going for Chelsea. John Terry out. I'm now going for Arsenal.
Okay, Matt.
Chelsea.
Alan.
I need to go for Chelsea.
Okay. Let's level things up then, Paul, shall we? What are you going to go for?
In your heart.
No, I have to. I just think they've got too many top draw players. I have to go for Chelsea. Sorry.
Surprise. Surprise.
Yeah, but I just, you know, this is not Tottenham or Bolton. This is Chelsea now. Yeah. Different standard.
OK, we shall see. It promises to be an absolutely fascinating encounter down in Cardiff, doesn't it? Arsenal against Chelsea. You'll see the Carling Cup final live tomorrow, 2:30, Sky Sports 1 and HD1.
Chelsea are taking this one seriously, I can tell you that. It's the same side which started against Porto in the Champions League in midweek. John Terry restored to fitness miraculously. No gamble, says Jose Mourinho. We'll have to wait and see. Wayne Bridge has held off the challenge of Ashley Cole, and of course it's Shevchenko and Drogba up front. For Arsenal, 8 changes from the side which lost in Holland to PSV Eindhoven. It's actually very similar to the side which started the second leg of the Carling Cup semi-final against Tottenham, the one that they won 3-1 after extra time. The only difference from that side is that Fabregas comes in for Gilberto. So it's Baptista with his 6 Carling Cup goals who gets the chance to start up front. And if you look at the midfield, I mean, it's extraordinary to think that Arsenal will go in with Walcott, with Fabregas, with Danielson and with Diaby, and up against them this Chelsea quartet of Makelele, Ballack, Essien and Lampard. Perhaps that's where the game may be won or lost. Arsenal's youngsters against Chelsea's big-name stars, but clearly the two teams have made a statement here with their announcement of the sides. Chelsea unchanged and taking it seriously. In it to win it is their strategy. Arsenal, well, they've stayed true to the youngsters that have got them through to this stage. They get one more chance to see if they can bring silverware back to the Emirates. And can Arsene Wenger win the League Cup for the first time?
Nick, thanks very much indeed. We'll be back with you throughout the afternoon. Big news, isn't it, about the teams? John Terry in particular. The team's pretty much as expected as far as Arsenal is concerned. It is set up beautifully at the Millennium Stadium. The 7th and last, we reckon, cup final at the stadium in Cardiff. And you can see it all live. Sky Sports 1 and HD1. It all starts in just over 20 minutes' time. We'll have Tony Cottee in the studio with us to watch that game.
Areas here at the Millennium Stadium today turned over to regular fans. The sponsors have handed out 800 tickets to regular fans so that they can enjoy all the benefits of a corporate day out. It's a great atmosphere today, and in here as well, 2 Arsenal legends. We've got Sammy Nelson, cup winner in 1979, and Charlie George, who of course famously scored that winning goal in the 71 double winning final. Great day out today for the fans. How do you sort of see this game though? Arsenal, so many kids out there.
I'm really looking forward to the game. I think the young guys have done so well to get through to the final. There's no pressure on them. I think all the pressure's on Chelsea, and Chelsea will be putting out their big guns. I can only see it being a very good day for Arsenal.
I guess if you're old enough, you're good enough. That's the mantra, I suppose.
Absolutely, and on the performances against Liverpool, West Brom and Everton and Tottenham in the semi-finals, they've been superb. So why not have a go at Chelsea today in the same basis, the way they played against Tottenham?
Against you, Charlie, forever associated with Wembley and that goal and lying flat out in the pitch afterwards. How do you find the atmosphere here at the Millennium Stadium? It's a nice atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, the atmosphere is good. It's a nice stadium. We seem to play here quite a lot over the last few years. I'm looking forward to the game, as Sammy says. Really looking forward to our youngsters. You know, they're going to get better. The thing is, these kids are going to get better. And if Arsene Wenger didn't think they were good enough, he wouldn't play them. It's as simple as that. He's got great faith in them. Let's just see what they can do. And we ain't out of it by a long way.
You played with a lot of style and panache and character and all that sort of stuff. Do you like the way this Arsenal team play their football?
Absolutely fantastic. We're the best. We pass the ball. When we pass the ball and we're on song, we're the best team in Europe by a mile.
But it's going to be a tight one, I think. You make yourselves underdogs, I suppose, today, would you?
If you look at the both sets of teams, Chelsea, that we're not getting away. Chelsea are a fantastic team. Got a lot of very good players. But then we're not a bad team either. Let's not forget that.
Go along with that, Sammy. How do you see this one panning out today?
I agree with Charlie. I mean, I still believe the pressure's on Chelsea because they're putting out all their big players. I don't think they have a Team B. We've got quality all the way through, and I'm sure it'll be proven again today.
Okay, great stuff. Great hearing from you two guys. A wonderful atmosphere here. The Arsenal fans really lovely talking to the likes of Sammy and Charlie. Well, that's what the stars of yesterday think, and maybe not quite the stars of Arsenal today, maybe the stars of Arsenal tomorrow. It's them that's got to deliver this afternoon.